Guess I have to put these on like that so I can see you. Hope there's not mosquitoes in here, because that would not be much fun. So hello, it's me, Nancy, today. So, these things happening here. So, I'm at camp, and it's 10 o'clock at night or something like that, and there's 2 campfires going on, and I was at one campfire for a while. And I have my missionary tag. There I am. Anyway, my hair looks funny back like this. So I'm obsessed by what I look like, and so I can't talk to you yet because I have to make myself look better. There. Now that's more like it. Sort of. Anyway. So, I haven't talked to you guys for a while, but I have some time on my phone, some data left. It's only it's the end of the month, and I still have quite a bit of data left. Sorry. Got hot in here all of a sudden, but with having to be inside. Alright, now make sure everything is comfortable here. Alright, so there was a talent show tonight, and they gave us like a few minutes to practice, and I didn't want to be in it, and they said, please, 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 and so I said, alright, and so they wrote my name down, and so I told them my 2 jokes. And I said, I hope that when you're as old as I am, you can remember 2 jokes too. Anyway, so my first joke, I'll tell you my jokes. My first joke is Adam, and Adam says to Heavenly Father, he says, Heavenly Father, I'm lonely. Heavenly Father says, I have just the thing. I'm going to make for you a woman, and she is going to love you unconditionally. She's going to help you in every way. And she's never going to criticize, and she's always going to admire you and accept you and adore you and appreciate you. And she won't nag. She'll always be there for you, and she'll be very beautiful. And Adam was so thrilled. He said, wow, oh, this is awesome. Now, what will this cost me? And Heavenly Father said, well, an arm and a leg. And Adam said, oh, what can I get for a rib? Don't you love it? I love it. That's my favorite joke. Okay, I have another one. You may have heard these before, but that's because I'm old and I say the same thing a lot. So, wish I could open this window. It's very hot in here. Oh, I have a fan over there. I also have air conditioning, but there's mice up there in the ceiling. And if I turn on the air conditioner, I think I just get all their... I won't think about that. So my second joke. So a man finds a bottle. He rubs it. Out comes a genie. And the genie says, I will grant you 1 wish, master. Of course, he had to say master. And the man says, oh, well, I would like a bridge from the mainland to Hawaii. And the genie says, oh my, do you have any idea the engineering that will take? I mean, think of the waves, the depth, the length. Would you mind coming up with another one instead? Something a little easier. And the man says, well, all right. How about a book that explains the way a woman's mind works? And the genie says, will that be a 2-lane or a 4-lane bridge? Those are my 2 jokes. But I do have another consolation joke, in case those weren't perfect. Why, oh, Susan, hi. And is Suze here? Oh, hi. Look, we have people. Yay. I'm not alone. You're not alone. Okay, so my consolation prize joke is, why did the elephant wear red running shoes? so he could hide in the cherry tree. There you go. Those are my jokes. I had a third joke, which I really liked as well, but I can't remember it. So I guess we don't get to have that. You heard my first joke, did you? Do you need me to repeat that for all the latecomers? So Adam says to God, I'm lonely. And God says, Adam, I have just the thing. I'm going to make for you a woman. And she is going to love you and adore you. And she is going to do everything you need. Whatever it is you need, she will help you with it. And she will always be happy and uplifting and loving and kind. And she will adore you. And she will accept you, appreciate you, admire you. And Adam's thinking, whoa, this is awesome. He says, then he thinks, what's this going to cost me? And Heavenly Father says, an arm and a leg. And Adam thinks, and he says, what can I get for a rib? There it is. That's joke number 1. Repeated. And joke number 2 for all of you latecomers or those that missed part of it. Man on the beach finds a bottle, rubs it. Genie comes out. The genie says, I will grant you one wish. The man says, you like that one, eh? The man says, I would like a bridge to Hawaii. And the genie says, what? That last joke made my night. Good. I was Colin McDonald? Colin McDaniel. Hi, Colin. Are you from England? Don't know. Anyway, second joke was, oh yes, bridge to Hawaii. And the genie says, oh, think of the engineering, the waves, how big they are, and the depth, the support system. This is a huge undertaking. Are you sure? Would you mind, just for my sake, would you mind just choosing something a little easier? And the man says, how about a book that explains the way a woman's mind works? And the genie says, oh, Iowa. Oh, we have others from Iowa. Colin, nice to see you. I'm in Canada, Ontario to be specific. And so the genie says, in response to a book that explains the way a woman's mind works, and the genie says, will that be a 2-lane or a 4-lane bridge? Hey, there's a mosquito in here with me. Blood, guts, and gore. Blood, guts, and gore. Blood, 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 guts, blood, guts, and gore. So we're here at this camp. We're serving as missionaries, service missionaries, so we're not really out preaching the gospel. We're mostly doing maintenance. We're serving for free. It's volunteer. We don't get paid. Actually, but they do have this awesome RV. Other than the mice that we share it with, it's an awesome RV. Those mice, they leave a terrible smell. There's one of these things that is a circle that has a light on it, and it supposedly emits a sound that the mice don't like. It doesn't work. Maybe it's just broken. The light's on. It's not, but the mice are still here. I hear them chewing. And they're up in the, I got over there and I could hear them, and so I went around and I closed all the vents because I think he's up in the ventilation system. And you come in this place and it really doesn't smell very good. And every time I turn on the air conditioner, we have an air conditioner, or a fan or anything, it just smells. Anyway, we won't think about that. It was me for a moment while it was saying low battery, but I ignored it. Hey, I'm not supposed to say that. I have it plugged up. So there was this talent show, and that was my part in it. I sat there and I practiced my violin, and I practiced all my pieces, and then my fingers started to cramp, and they started to get really stiff, and they wouldn't move, and there was something for dinner, and it was supposed to be supposed to be lactose free, which I thought that was milk free. But there was cheese on top, and I thought, okay, well, if it's lactose free, this can't be cheese on top. This must be fake cheese. But I think someone was told to do something, and they did what they were told to do, and so it was no longer lactose free. Mistakes happen. Anyway, I ate it, so I don't feel like my body is not very happy with me. Hey, did you ever read that story? You are a brave soul, Nancy. I don't like to share space with mice. Me neither. Me neither. We're not going to think about it, because if I don't think about it, if I do think about it, it'll drive me nuts, and I'll have to do something about it. I really don't know what to do about it. We put out mouse traps, and we did catch 2 mice. And I have a box of anti-smell stuff, you know, the baking soda. So today they had a service project, so the girls usually come. They come and they stay for the part of the week, and then they go home on Saturday. Happy for you, Susan? What happened, Susan? You're a brave soul. No, what Susan said. Oh, I have nerves burned in your spine today. Wow. Got that done again in a couple days. I'm feeling pretty good right now. Wow, nerves burned in your spine. Whoo. Not polite to be jealous, so I won't be jealous. I'm glad that you got that done. Very glad. If you got it done, maybe they'll do things like that for other people too. Anyway, in the meantime, so there was a service project, and so some girls got to pick up rocks, and some girls came with me, and I gave them all tools. Some got sharp saws, and some got pruning clippers, and some got those big grass clippers. Anyway, and so they came along the Beaver Pond Trail, and they cut off many of the little stumps. They are the nerves that tell your brain you feel the pain. Yes, that would be good to get rid of. I guess they just don't have the right kind of medications anymore. Boy, look at that arm of mine. Look at that. Looks like it's melting, doesn't it? How did my skin get to look like that? So there we go. So I have lots of, oh look, there's 8 people. We never have 8 people on here. I'm getting kind of lonely. I miss all of you guys. And I have a bunch of gigs left. What is it? I'm up to 13 or 14 gigs I've used, and I've got 21 gigs. And that I get my new stuff on the 2nd of the next month. So it doesn't start the 1st of August. It starts midnight, the night of the 1st of August. So it's actually the beginning of the 2nd of the month. So today's 28th. So 28, 29, 30. 30 days has September, April, May, and November. So 31, 29, 30, 31, 3, and then the 1st. So I have 4 days left, and I have 21 take away 13 is 8. 7 plus 1. 8. My skin is starting to look like that in places. Too many places. Lol. Hi, Nanby. Evening, Nancy and Chatters. Love the joke. Oh, I'm glad you like those jokes. I have another joke, but I can't remember it. Seems like it has to do with bones. Anyway, I'm so glad you're here. So these girls came along on the trail, and they cut off all these things that I could trip over, or that they will trip over, that everybody stubs their toes on and has to catch themselves. There's like a million of them, but they did it. Some girls sawed off the ones that were like this big around. Some of these stumps, you know, they've cut the tree off several times. Now you've got all these little bits, and you have to keep cutting them off. Well, this is like cut the whole thing right off level with the ground this time. And that was quite helpful. So I'm curious to see more about it. And the person that first started, no, he made a different trail. Anyway, somebody came up from Peterborough, which isn't very far away, and he had He's been doing a lot here. And seems like there was a trail that he worked on, but I can't remember which one it was. Well, anyway, yesterday the girls were doing rocks, and I can't imagine any girls liking to pick up rocks. And so when they got there, I said, I parked in between two groups, and there were about 7 in each group. So I parked in the middle between them on the side of the road, and I said, okay, so let's have a contest and see who can get the most rocks in their side. So they were both very busy putting rocks in their sides. And then I decided that everybody gets prizes because they really did pick up a lot of rocks. They had to be small rocks because they're being used to fill in an area which, you remember when I drove through the woods and there was this pond on the road? Well, this was another spot with a pond like that on the road. And there's no pond right now, but it will come back. Anyway, so I was filling that up. Yeah, I definitely ate dairy. Anything I use, any mussels I use for very long, you start to hit. You're knitting purple hats for the babies at your hospital. That is so cool. They must not be very big. Little tiny heads, right? Their little head can fit in your hand. Amazing. I remember after my babies were born, they were very tiny, and I would lay them on my lap. I'd try to roll them up and see how we must have fit, in that space there, just on my tummy. Of course, my tummy was always quite plump. Ouch, plump after that. And my muscles are all kind of shot because of eating dairy. And the rest of me too. So that's what you've been doing. You've got the nerves cut in your back. That's good. Get rid of those back nerves. And also knitting. You can knit 2 a day. You have until September. How many are you making? Until September, because no more babies are going to be born after September. That's the cutoff. If everybody has 2 children, the population is no longer doubling. Hi, Yaroslav 413. Hey, speaking of numbers, what was Eve's number? 8. What was Adam's number? 812. You got it? Get it? Get it? Get it? Get it? So Willem was here. In between being babysitting, he came. He came last night, slept over, and was here all day doing the garbage and all kinds of things that need to be done around here. There's 185 girls here or something. It's 2 steaks. It's for purple ones. You mean for purple babies? What do you mean? It's for purple ones. And then he went back. He's going to come back tomorrow. So we had all three of us couples that are here as missionaries. We've all had deaths in the family. Oh, for abused babies? Oh my gosh. I don't even want to think about that. Anyway, so that really took my mind off of whatever I was thinking about. Oh yeah, so they were doing rocks. And so I said, okay, well, I just went to Dollarama and I bought all this cool junk. I know. I bought all this cool junk, and so, you guys can all have something out of my bag of junk. And they were all excited. So after they all went and looked through my bags of junk, I didn't have a lot left. Anyway, that was all right. But then I decided I would give people rides. And so I gave and the girls were just having such a great time. I took them to the beach, and some had to go all the way to because they had done all these rocks for me. So I took them all the way to their campsite, and I pulled right up in front of all their tents, and I waited for them to get changed into their bathing suits because they were missing swimming time. And then I drove them all the way down, around all the way to the beach, and then I went right to the shore along the edge of the water, and I dropped them all off. They were so happy. And then there was another group that was ready to go. Oh, I talked to you back then, didn't I? and they got out of the water, and I took them, and I took them all the way up to the campsite again, and then I said, this is the 5:15. 5:15 is here, room service. And one girl said, would you mind coming back for us at 5:25? Because dinner is at 5:30. And I said, oh, we have an appointment. Okay then, 5:25. And so I just kept picking people up and driving them from here to there. And some of them I hadn't, I just was having fun. I had a lot of fun with those girls. That was good. And today I taught baskets. I have my cedar bark fabric, and I have it laying there on the table to show them what's possible with cedar bark. And I also have the jars that are covered with cedar bark, and I have the willow basket and the small cedar bark basket with a little handle, a little tiny birch bark basket. And so the girls came, and they made, one of them made and completed a little basket around, she used a little cup for a mold. That worked very well. But I get very, I get so many things on the go. I had to go get the extra cedar bark from the back of the trailer here. Nice that you show them how to do that. Thank you. I like showing them. I think it's a good thing for them to learn. It's kind of neat that they want to know, right? So I'm trying to share those skills. Oh, and every time I find some flowers, I get out my blouse and I lay it down, put a flower in it, and I smash it with my hammer. And that was one of the things in my dollar store bag that nobody took. My hammer, the sketchbook, and my paints and my brushes. So we're painting my car. Remember when I painted it before with Janet in the mountains of North Georgia? And then subsequently it got in an accident, and so it's no longer. But we're painting another one, which is very fun. I have on the front doors, I now have a set of flowers, those false sunflowers, yellow-eyed Susans. They're yellow flowers. Oh, we've got these moths here now too. Those little tiny moths that get in your food. Ooh. So I did that. I also have my cedar bark hat, and they're all very impressed with my hat. Even though a mouse took a chunk out of it, and then a bunch of it eroded away, and then I repaired it, and now I need to wet it and really do the ends nicely. It's not very well done at the ends. Edges. Anyway, what else should I talk about? I cut some cattails tonight. I thought I'll take cattails and I'll make a something in my pocket. What is it? Look at that. Food storage. It's a wayward potato chip, I believe. Well, Willem went home. He's got to babysit. It's interesting, the evolution of not having contact with the campers today. What does that mean? Evolution of not having contact with the campers to today. Not sure what that means. Yeah, we didn't have any campers. Oh, I see what you mean. Like at the beginning in April, there were no campers. And we were just getting the place ready. Millions of things that we did, which wore us out. And now the campers are here. And it's supposedly, we don't have as much to do, but I tell you, they go through a lot of toilet paper and a lot of paper towels. And they do clean the bathrooms once a day. But in between, anyway, so there's a lot of that. And then the garbage containers fill up very quickly, so that has to be done. But other than that, we get to kind of not do a whole lot. But I'm so busy trying to be organized with my having the bark ready and getting it wet in the lake and bringing it back and cutting it in pieces and getting it ready and thinning it and then when girls are available, which who knows when it'll be. It's maybe during swimming time. They have free time now and then. One girl has made an appointment with me. She's going to come 9:30 tomorrow. She said, "What time would I be there? Would I be there at 8?" And I said, "No, not 8." So, oh, I was going to tell you. So, all of us missionaries in charge here. So, there's a couple that are the camp directors, and we are the assistant camp directors or the junior couple. And next year we'll be the senior couple because they won't be here, I guess. But they might come back. I hope they come back. Anyway, so his sister died yesterday. And our lifeguard, her sister died 2 or 3 days ago. And my cousin's husband in Connecticut died last week on the 16th. So last week I went to a funeral. And then tomorrow the elder and sister P are going to their funeral, and Lynn, our lifeguard, is already gone. She's got to go to New Brunswick. So everybody is, anyway, so tomorrow, Willem had to go home to babysit. So tomorrow, they are leaving, the P's are leaving tomorrow morning. I guess he'll check the water. Every day he has to test the water. Anyway, so he'll do that in the early morning, and then they'll go. And I will be the only person here. Somebody is coming up from from Peterborough. Somebody who's not a missionary is over the camp. He's coming up to help out for the day, I guess. Anyway, but most people kind of know what to do, and I get myself very busy trying to be organized for making baskets and working on my own baskets and painting flowers on my car and keeping up with the bathrooms and the paper towels that seem to overflow the garbage cans all the time, and you know how it is. Yep. So there's 2 campfires going on tonight. There was one down by the beach, and there was a stake president that was down there talking to the girls. And I was there long enough to go get my chair from beside my kayak and bring it over, and I sat there, and then the mosquitoes came out, and I just didn't feel like dealing with the mosquitoes. They were just too many. And my back is not very good on account of all this. Every time that low battery light comes on. So if I really got a low battery, it's plugged up. Maybe so. If it dies, I guess that's it, because I don't know. It's pretty late, and I'll probably just go to bed. But I'll see if it's, I don't know. Sometimes it doesn't work. And sometimes it does work. I interrupt myself so often that I can't figure out what I'm talking about. So I got up on stage tonight at this talent show, and I was thinking about what should I do, and I thought, well, you know, I talked to you guys for a long time and have nothing to say, but the mosquitoes are horrible in Kansas. They're pretty bad here, too, after dark. Oh, yeah, so there's one campfire down there by the beach, and the mosquitoes are bad, but there was a very interesting talk going on. And somebody asked a question, like, this is to help. These girls are ages 12 to 18. And you know how it is for girls that age. I mean, there's a lot of low self-esteem. I don't fit in. I don't belong. I'm not good enough. And so they were talking about self-talk. And the negative self-talk, the things that we say to ourselves, that I'll never be good enough, the overgeneralizations, it's all or nothing, or using our emotions to determine reality, or, you know, painting an improper picture or something, incorrect picture of what's going on. But then she asked, the stake president's wife, I have no idea their names, London, Ontario, and she asked the girls, I don't know, something about loving yourself. And do you love yourself? And I, of course, in the back of the room, put up my hand. Not the room, it was outside. And it was dark. But she saw my hand because there was a huge campfire. And we're all sitting on the sand in chairs. And I said that when I look in the mirror, I don't know person anymore. I mean, the face doesn't, it's not, how did I say it? Whatever I said. But anyway, you know what I mean. It's not my face. But anyway, but when I look at that person, I love her. Like, she is my confidant. She knows everything, and she'll never breathe a word of any of my secrets that I don't want her to say. And sometimes, though, of course, we do say some things we don't want to say. But, you know, I look at her and she knows all my secrets. She knows and understands why I did everything I've done. She understands why it was too hard for me to do the right thing, or how good I felt when I did the right thing, or, you know, she understands all the secrets I have. She knows, you know, all the things that she's my best friend. She knows me and she loves me and she helps take care of me. I mean, nobody takes better care of me than me, right? Like, if I want something for me, oh, that's right up there, priority on my list. So I take care of her, whatever she wants, right? And so she takes care of me. And so we love each other. Like, that's, I think, anyway, that's my self-love, is that, you know, she doesn't look like she used to look. And I can't get all bent out of shape about that because I'm not my body. I'm just living in it. I am a spiritual person having a physical experience, an earthly experience. And as you age, you really start to see that because your body changes, but you don't. And everybody thinks you've changed, but you haven't. It's because all the evidence is no longer telling the truth anymore. You never had white hair forever. You always had a different color hair. And your skin wasn't melting off. And you didn't have floaters in your eyes. And you could see and you could actually hear. And your teeth were all very nice. They might have been a little crooked or whatever. You might have had braces. Might have never had braces. You know, but you were used to them. But you had teeth and you could eat. And, you know, your skin... How introspective, Nancy. I so agree with you. Thanks. And you know, dividing myself into three people, like Nancy today is who I am right now. And Nancy yesterday cut some cattails for me. And she put some cedar bark in the lake for me. And she hung out with Willem. And she played really fun games with all those girls. And Nancy tomorrow has got an appointment to make baskets, but because Nancy yesterday put that stuff in the water and soaked it, and Nancy today did some more cutting and preparing strips and getting things ready for these girls, Nancy tomorrow is going to have a pretty easy time of it, right? Nancy today has helped Nancy tomorrow. And if Nancy today plays her cards right, Nancy tomorrow will have an awesome day. And the day I have today is a whole lot dependent on what Nancy yesterday did. I mean, if Nancy yesterday really messed up, I could have a really rotten day today, right? And so I think that I love Nancy yesterday because of all the awesome stuff she's done for me. She fed me really cool stuff. She bought me treats. And Nancy tomorrow is going to get to eat those treats. Anyway, so if I divide myself into those people, then, you know, like, it's not a terrible thing if I messed up yesterday. Because it was Nancy yesterday that did it. It wasn't Nancy today. No! Nancy today is a perfectly different person. See, I woke up and I have a new day today. So I don't have to be Nancy yesterday. I can be Nancy today. And tomorrow, perhaps I will be even better than today. Or perhaps I'll be the same. Or perhaps I'll really mess up. But there's always a new day, and I can always be Nancy today. But anyway, it lets me see the past, present, and future and how it's all connected, right? And I have a hard time planning and scheduling. But I could look back and be grateful, you know, that all those vents are now closed, so it doesn't smell quite so bad, I think. I don't know. Maybe it's all in my head. This place just smells. Has been leaks in the roof at times, It's probably not a good idea to spend too much time in here. I don't know if there's mold in here. Is there a mold meter you can get to see, like to measure the air quality? I know there is air quality stuff, like if it's polluted or not. My son has one in Vietnam, and it's red if he opens the window. And if he closes the window and puts on this air purifier, then the red goes away and it's nice and green. Can you imagine that? That's in Vietnam. I didn't think it was so bad in Vietnam. China, pollution's really bad. Really bad. Okay, so I've just talked your ear off for a while, so now what should we talk about? I put my feet up on this pole one day. This pole here. It's one of those poles that brace the ceiling. Anyway, I put my foot on it and it moved. It went. So I had to pull it back and I had to turn it. But it's got these two holes in it. And so if I put a pen in that hole, I can hang things on it. That's what Nancy yesterday discovered. See, and I'm grateful because now I have that post there. Everything I did before. When am I going home? Well, because Willem doesn't have to babysit on Saturday, I don't have to be home on Saturday. I mean, he can leave, so he's going to come back here and be with me for a few days. And then he's going to go home and babysit next week again. I don't know. I may go home. I was gone a lot last week. I had to go to the funeral. And then I went home to my house, and I was there for a couple days. I guess I was there. I drove. When was driving day? The funeral was on Thursday. And I had to be home for Saturday. Oh yeah, it was a birthday party, Saturday. So I drove on Friday. So Thursday was the funeral, Friday was driving day, Saturday was the birthday party, Sunday was church, and then I came back here after church. Because they were short 2 people, right? But then they were only short 1 person. Now they're short 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 people. And I'm the only one. I hope I don't have to do anything hard. Boy, it's amazing. When there's 185 people, it's amazing how distracted you can get. You talk to one person, you say, I'm sure I know you. Where do I know you from? Well, they're from Sarnia. How could I possibly know them? When have I ever seen them? Must be in the temple. I mean, all the people go to the same temple. And sure enough, I sat beside her and I visited with her one day when I was there. Anyway, but you have that. And then there's this other person here now who lives in Peterborough, and she came up. Her children are now, I don't know, teenagers, but she's been coming up here since she was pregnant for their first one. I guess this camp has been here for 13 years now. And it's a huge camp. It's 400 acres with a beautiful long waterfront, and it's a really great place. Anyway, so she knows this place like the back of her hand, and so she stayed in this RV. This RV has been here for a long, long time. It's a 2004 RV, I think. Something Sunset or some Sunset Creek or something like that. Anyway, so she knows all these trails, and she knows all kinds of stuff, and she's so glad that I'm here doing the stuff I'm doing, like putting up signs. I put up signs today and put up birdhouses. I had a group of girls, I gave them all the cut pieces for the birdhouses while I went to the funeral last week, and they put them all together. But I think they put the tops on the front, and the front's on the top, and so they don't quite fit right. But that was my fault because I labeled them wrong. I think I must have put one together wrong. Anyway, so they put them all together wrong, but they're good enough. But they have this crack at the top, so there's a hole and a crack. That's for ventilation, right? And, big enough for all the animals to come and check it out if they want. So I put them up in the... But anyway, so I met her, and so, I get distracted talking to her and then talking to the other one. And then there's somebody from the kitchen that's saying, there's a bad smell in here. Is the gas turned off? Somebody used um, some kind of a cleaning thing, and I don't know, it was pretty bad smell. But anyway, um, and then you have somebody wanting to know how to light the stove outside, the grill, and can we have, where do these washcloths go? After they've done the bathrooms, where do these go? And it's just one thing after another. It's okay when there's 4 of us or 5 of us that can all be found and answer the questions, but when it's only you have to stay kind of handy. You can't really go off and I haven't sat by my beaver pond for a long time. It's not my beaver pond, but I haven't sat there for a long time because I have to be around the girls so that if anybody wants to make a basket, they can, or at least they can see the baskets being made. I think it's a good thing for the girls to learn all these different things that you can make baskets out of, willow and birch bark and cedar bark and cattails and rushes. Anyway, and there's probably other things too. Grapevines and did I say willow? Anyway, and pine needles. But I get myself so I don't seem to accomplish anything because I seem to be stretched in so many directions. But I'm making friends with a lot of people. It's very interesting to see this camp through other people's eyes. The girls have come here, this might be their 6th year. But when you think about it, I could think, oh, I'm new to the camp and they know all about the camp. But you know what? They only came for like 4 days a year. Have to get rid of this thing. Um, um, they came like four days a year. Did I get rid of this one? I gotta get rid of this one. Um, um, and so they've come 6 times, 4 times a year. So that's